Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting episode of my vlog. I'm your I almost said horse. Okay. I needed my coffee this morning. I am your host, Orange Zeppelin, and let me tell you, May went really fast. I don't know if anybody else... Hi, Catullus. Hello. I have Catullus. He's not a horse either. We're off to a great start. But I don't know if anybody else had the same experience, but May felt like it went super fast. It kind of felt like I didn't get as many projects as I wanted done, but when I look at my list, I got a lot done. And it's mostly because some of the things on my list, there were like 5 things or 7 things that went with that one thing on the list. So without further ado, let's take a look at my accomplishments for this month, of which there are many. The number one thing that happened in May, that was Lee Week. And I'm going to do a whole separate video where I talk about my Lee Week pieces. It's just going to take a little bit to get around to it because I didn't finish Lee Week. I did 6 of my Lee Week pieces, and I did put a lot of pressure on myself to make it the best Lee Week, because this is the week leading up to Christopher Lee's 100th birthday, which was on May 27th, and I was like, it's the 100th Lee Week, I gotta make it really good. And for the most part, I think my pieces turned out really well. It's this last piece, and I'll talk about it in the upcoming video and explain what this has anything to do with Christopher Lee, which is a little tangential. This is an actual fight. I am fighting with this piece to get it to look good. It's gonna take a little bit. It already looks a lot better than it did at the beginning of yesterday. At the beginning of yesterday, I was looking at it like, please be art. Please. And then I was saying I need to get kind of aggressive with it and just be like, you are gonna be art and you're gonna like it, damn it. And that actually ended up being the right attitude to go into the piece with, because it does look much better now. So that's gonna take a little while longer. But otherwise, Lee Week was a success, and I liked seeing other people's Lee Week art. That was a fun event. I also made a cake for Lee Week. I made a beautiful sponge cake, and I made my own whipped cream as a topping. I was very proud of myself because I haven't made whipped cream before. That actually is not that difficult to make. You take your cream, add things in, whip it, and then it is very beautiful, and you eat it and you put it in your coffee, and it's a good time. So, Lee Week, I'm calling that a resounding success. Last year, I don't think I even got around to my final Lee Week piece until, I think, a week after Lee Week. So the fact that I am potentially going to be a week late on getting this done, we're already doing better than last time. So, still a success. I finished my big commission project, and I'm going to pop that image in here. This was something I had been working on for a while because it was a big scene. As you can see, there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of vehicles, which is something that I'm not super good at. So it was testing my skills at a lot of things, but I'm very happy with the finished result. The client was very happy, and there's potential future projects relating to this overarching project, because this is a cover for a role-playing game, so there'll be art inside the guide, and there's a big possibility I'll be able to work on that art as well. So that will be really fun, and I'm very excited, and I'm really thankful I got that commission, because that was super fun to work on. So that is another great success. I got a portrait during my $5 flash sale, and again, the client liked it so much that I got a pretty big tip afterwards. It's like, oh man, that's awesome. So that's another thing I'm super happy about. And then very recently, I got commissioned for something it was actually at the very start of Lee Week, and I did give them a heads up. But this is going to be a crazy week, but I will eventually get around to that piece. But I did make time for it, and I'm happy with how that turned out also, and they were very happy with how that turned out. So that is like multiple commissions happening in this month, and I don't get commissions super often, so when I do, it's very exciting. And I'm very happy that I've consistently been getting commissions every single month this year. And that means a lot to me, because sometimes it is a struggle. When you're a freelance artist, you're kind of just shouting into the void and begging. So having people actively seek you out to get art from you, that means a lot. And so I'm super happy. I'm super thankful for that. That was another... So there were like several commissions that happened this month. Those were on the... That wasn't even necessarily just on the things I planned list. There was a lot of extra projects that happened. I did film a video that's going to be coming up really soon. I need to look over it again. I'm going to get some secondary opinions on how the video turned out, because it's very different than anything I've done before. I think you guys are going to really like it. I think it is going to be enjoyable to watch. It was very enjoyable to make. It's not necessarily art related. It's tangentially comic related, but you'll just have to see. What are some extra things I did? I actually did some paper mache for my town does something called the Pirate, Mermaid, and Sea Creature Parade, and I was going to redo a salmon helmet that I made a couple years ago for the parade, and I did the paper mache, and I got the base coat layer, and I was going to start painting, and then it was like, I don't know if I actually have time out of my very busy schedule to go down and do the little parade and wear my salmon helmet, and I just had a lot going on, and so it was like, next year we'll do the salmon helmet. So that wasn't a super exciting project. And then the other completely random thing that I decided to do that I did not finish, I was like, I'm going to make a wooden sword. And you may notice that we have some asymmetry going on, particularly right here, and that's because we have some knots in the wood, and I was having a difficult time dealing with that. I'm going to have to go to actual power tools rather than doing everything with hand tools like I like doing in my sculpture class in college. I always was like, no, I'm using hand tools. I don't care if it takes me twice as long. I'm going to get a very good result anyway. And I have people like practically trying to shove power tools in my hand while I'm in the middle of doing something. And I had to kind of yell at them, hey, how about you not just shove power tools in my hands randomly while I'm trying to focus? I don't need them. It's not helpful. And then I'm going to start complaining. Let's not complain. That's not the mood of today. We have a positive mood today. We are not bitching and moaning about things. Was that everything I got done? I don't think that was. Because I did like 2 awesome Space Band pages. I did not get hardly anything done on that. That kind of just got shoved by the wayside. This current month, though, I'm going to throw down. I'll go down the list of things that are going to happen now in June. But comics didn't really get attended to during this month. I did a little bit of Mermaid, not very much, because my whole plan is that I wasn't going to do a proper, I draw Mermaid every day because I don't want to and I have other things to do. But I did draw some mermaids, and I'm really happy with the ones I did draw. There was one in particular that I'm going to share with you guys. DeviantArt did a mermaid drawing tutorial that I followed where I did the basic pose that the artist was showing, and then I went in my own direction with the overall design, but it was a fun tutorial to follow. I've actually really been enjoying the DeviantArt tutorials, even though I think I've said it before, I'm not good at following drawing tutorials where it's like you have the shape and the line and and it's like very, what am I trying to say? I feel like when I sketch, I'm very loose about it. And when it's like, when the construction is very solid, we're dealing with, you draw triangle here and then eventually you smooth it into something that resembles art. I have a hard time with that. So how to draw books, I've never been good at following because, I don't know, it just ends up really weird. I just have to look at the end result and basically reverse engineer it, and that's how I figure things out. Sometimes the construction process is like, this is annoying and I don't want to do it. I want to do it my way, which is how I am with a lot of things. But they have been fun tutorials to follow, and they pretty much always say in the tutorial, like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to make it look just like mine. Like the wolf tutorial, the lady said, you can do whatever you damn well please with your wolf. She didn't say that exactly, but basically, you just follow the basic construction, do whatever you want. I like that. I like being able to do whatever I want, which is why I'm an artist. But, so I think that was everything that I accomplished in May. That was quite a bit. The only thing that didn't even get touched was actually the Monsters Holding Bitches Draw Club. I kept putting it off until like the last 3 days of this month, and then, yeah, I had bigger projects to work on, and I'm glad I focused on what I focused on. I'm glad that Lee Week was the big priority. And then that one video that I was working on, you guys will see that very, very soon. Probably in the next few days is when I'm going to be posting that video. So, overall, May, really, really short month as it felt, but I feel like ultimately it was a very productive month. I do want to kind of rein it in June. So, what am I planning in June? Definitely, I want to have Whoa Awesome Space Babe issue 6 finished in June. I got a haul ass to do that. That is going to be ultimately the main priority. I'm going to post that video that I'm talking about. I have another video I want to work on that involves a painting. So that's like one other painting that's going to be going on. And then one of my big plans, it's going to be more of an ongoing plan, and it's not going to be... It's not something I can bust out right now. It's something that I kind of need to accumulate art pieces for, is that I'm going to overhaul my portfolio. I recently was on the DeviantArt forums asking people just what their opinions were on what makes a portfolio good, because I think it's just such an... It's hard to give a specific definition for what makes a portfolio good, because you're going to want to tailor your portfolio for different needs. If you have different career goals, if you're focusing on getting into a school, you're going to want to do different things with your portfolio. And then there are other ideas, there's other questions I had that were a little more concrete, like what do you guys think is a good range of artworks? And I think it ended up being between like 8 and maybe 16 or 20. The low end, what people were saying were 8. The high end was up to 20. For me, I think 8 would be too small. I do have 8 pieces that I picked out already that are definitely going in the new portfolio. I think quite a bit of them are already on my portfolio, which I am hosting it on Tumblr. I'm going to pop my link. I probably always include my link in my description, but you can find all of my social media links in my description below. I think the 8 pieces I have picked out, they're already on my portfolio, already in my portfolio. There's quite a lot of things I'm not going to move over to the new one, and I do want to modify my layout of my portfolio also to make it a little easier to look at. And I want to make some new pieces that will be like good portfolio pieces. I'm going to take a look at what I have so far and think about like what's something I need to work on. I know I don't do a lot of scenes where I have multiple characters. I actually don't have a lot of multiple character anything very often. I usually will just have like a portrait. I have a lot of headshots or like torso shots. I don't have a whole lot of full body action poses. So that is a goal. More scenes are a goal. And then once I have everything put together, I'll probably ask other people's opinions. Like, does this look like not complete garbage? Does this look like complete shit? But hopefully not. I do try, even with my current portfolio, the goal is like, okay, this is my range of what I can do. and I present it in as clean a format as possible. I'm going to change it up a little bit. But in the past, I've focused mostly on range of what my art looks like. And I did ask people, like, what is more important, range or consistency? And the response I was getting seemed to be that having a range of subject matter and poses, that is important. If it's like all the same stuff, if it's all a bunch of headshots, which I've been doing a lot of headshots because I like doing them, but I want to show that I can do other things. Consistency of style is what people were saying was important, and that's not necessarily what I have in my portfolio. So I'm going to take a few people's suggestions and retailor my portfolio so it kind of fits what people were suggesting. In most people's comments, it was just what they think a portfolio in general should look like, and it wasn't necessarily directed at what I was doing, but I still wanted to take their suggestions, update my portfolio, make it as professional as possible. I do want to have more digital art examples, especially if it's something I can use as an example of my digital coloring skills, which I know aren't super great, but I have considered trying to get more jobs doing digital coloring. Like, if you're a comic artist and you need a colorist, I am available. It'll take me a while, but hopefully the end result does look really good. And I do think my comic pages have been looking so much better lately. I have been putting more effort into just always improving, always making things look better, which that's always my goal. Just keep making my art as good as I can possibly make it. And so on that note, I have some art I need to do today. Actually, I need to do Gobliterated today because I skipped Gobliterated last week because Lead Week was the priority. So on that note, I'm going to go work on Gobliterated. I might work on that watercolor right there, and I might finish up that video that's coming very soon. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please like and comment random things. Actually, here's a good comment prompt. Tell me what you guys think makes a good portfolio, because I want to hear other people's opinions. That is always something that is worth discussing. What do you think makes a portfolio look good? So on that note, once again, thank you so much for watching and have a great time making art.